Hi, boys and girls. Do this with me. Calm your head, calm your heart, calm your hands, and breathe in.
Let's enter God's story together. Here's the story symbol for the part of God's story that we'll be spending time in today. I wonder what clues it gives us about the story we're about to hear. Listen closely as we read the story together to see which story our symbol represents. John 20, verse 24. Now Thomas, one of the 12, was not with the disciples when Jesus came. We don't know why, but Thomas, one of the disciples, was not with the rest of the disciples when Jesus appeared to them and the two friends who walked with Jesus to Emmaus. Thomas had not actually seen Jesus. So when Thomas showed up, the other disciples were so eager to tell him the great news that Jesus is alive. Now it's time to stretch your thinking. Imagine that you are talking to Thomas about how Jesus appeared in the room. What would you say? No matter what they said, Thomas couldn't quite believe it. After all, Jesus had been dead for 3 days. Thomas also knew how much they all wanted Jesus to be alive, so maybe they were imagining things. Or maybe it was a ghost. Jesus coming back to life just couldn't happen, Thomas thought. Thomas listened to all the things they said, but he could not believe it. He stood up and held up his hands to silence them. He said, "Unless I see the nail marks in Jesus' hands and put my finger on the scars, unless I see his side where they put the spear into it and put my finger on that scar, I will not believe it." Thomas probably couldn't get it out of his mind. He kept thinking about his disciples' friends trying to convince him, but he still couldn't bring himself to believe that Jesus was truly alive. 1 week later, Thomas was in the same house with the disciples again. Here's something to think about. What do you think they were talking about? The doors were locked. Maybe because the disciples were afraid that some of their enemies would come and find them because they were friends with Jesus. Suddenly, without knocking or unlocking or opening the doors, Jesus appeared in the room. He said, "Peace be with you." Imagine being in that room with the disciples. I wonder what was going through their mind when suddenly they saw Jesus standing in front of them again. Almost as soon as he appeared, Jesus went to Thomas and held out his hands. He said, "Thomas, put your finger here on my hands. Touch the scar. Reach out your hand and touch my side. Stop doubting. Believe." Right away, Thomas knew that it was really Jesus, alive and standing in front of him. Did he fall on his knees before Jesus? Did he bow his head in respect? Well, the Bible doesn't tell us what Thomas did, but it does tell us what Thomas said. "My Lord and my God." Let's make a face. What kind of look do you think was on Thomas's face when he realized that it was truly Jesus, alive? Jesus told Thomas, "Because you have seen me, you believe." Blessed are the people who have not seen and yet have believed. That's right. Jesus said, "Blessed are the people who have not seen and yet do believe." Listen to how this part of God's great story ends. In John chapter 20, verse 31, it says, "But these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name." Now, I know I have not seen Jesus alive, and you have not seen Jesus alive like Thomas did. And Jesus promises that we will be blessed because we believe it without having to see it. Now it's your turn to respond to the story. Select and do one or more of the response activities from God's Big Story card number 136. Or check out 5 ways to retell a Bible story with kids for some fun ways to retell this story. For an easy extra this week, make a flip-flap book. Under the flaps marked beginning, middle, and end, invite your child to write or draw what happened in the story. When your child's finished, encourage them to share their book with someone in their family.
Join with me in prayer. Jesus, thank you for dying on the cross. Thank you for appearing in the disciples. Thank you for appearing to Thomas to prove to him that you're alive. Even though we can't see you, even though we can't put our hands in your scars, help us to always believe in you. Amen.
That's it for this week. Have fun shining at home. We'll see you later.